Hello, everyone. This is Scott Geider, my special interview today. But first, I want to mention I have a co-host for this interview. Her name is Shar Harden. Shar, what are you doing?
I'm talking to Scott and Sarah Nicklin today. Isn't that awesome?
Yes, it is. Nice. Anyway, Sarah, are you there?
Yes, I am here.
You made it to the gruesome world. God bless you, child.
It'll be an interesting ride.
Well, anyways, the reason why you are on here is you contacted me. You have a new film that's going to be start filming this Sunday called Exhumed. But what I like to do, like I always do with all my guests, is try to run down some of your stuff that you've done before we get to your new project. Would that be all right?
Sure, that sounds great.
All right. Char, do you want to take over?
Sure. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well, and you?
I'm doing great.
Okay, as I had already told you, None of That was my favorite so far. I was actually watching it right before I called you. I wouldn't quite finish rewatch, but I was just curious. I know that I had read where they said on your bio page that you were active as a child in gymnastics and ballet and all that. Did you use some learning for your stunt work for None of That, or did you have a double?
It's a little hard for me to hear you, so I think you are asking about stunt work.
Right.
Yes, okay. For None of That, that was actually one of the first ones that I had done, like, a bunch of fight scenes in, which was a whole lot of fun. Growing up as a kid, I was always pretty active in sports. I mean, I played soccer, and I did pole vaulting for a while. And then when I was in college, I took a stage combat class, which is where we got to do, the fun stuff of fake hitting each other and kicking and punching and all that sort of stuff, which came in really handy because all of the fighting done in None of That is with the actual actors. So we don't have any stunt doubles or anything like that. It's actually us, and a lot of it was not completely made up on the spot, but it was either the choreographed the night before or a couple hours before or something like that. So there wasn't a whole lot of time for us to really rehearse, and it was pretty much just, okay, here are the moves and go with it. And luckily we had a really great fight choreographer, David LaValle, who also played Piper Goldstein in that movie, and he completely took care of me and could kick my ass 3 ways to Sunday, but made it look like I was kicking his ass.
Oh, man.
All the credit goes to him.
Well, I also noticed on your bio, this is funny because I am so much older, and it's funny seeing this, but you were a big fan of Jonathan Taylor Thomas, huh?
Oh, my God, yes, I was.
So that's what got you started more in the acting world, correct?
Yes, that's what got me started.
Yeah.
I was a really, really shy kid when I was little. I was the type of kid that if you meet a new person was like hiding behind your parents. And a friend of mine in I think it was like elementary school or something, had this big poster of Jonathan Taylor Thomas on our wall, and I was like, oh my God, who's that? And got completely infatuated. And so I was movies and got a whole bunch of pictures, and I think like my first actual real acting was I would go through his movies and transcribe all of his lines.
Oh, really?
And then
no kidding.
Through and memorize them.
No, I'm going to be a smart...
Yeah, that's a stalker at all.
I'm going to be a smart ass for a second. Who had longer hair, you or him?
Oh, well, that's a tough question. I think now I have better hair, but back then he probably didn't.
I'm sorry, I had to say that. But, well, since Shar had her chance, I'm going to mention one now. I mentioned it off the air, but Splatter Disco in 2007. Now, I've been hearing about this movie. I've had it for a while, and I decided to watch the movie It's one of my favorite movies, I think, as far as not knowing much about it. You have Ken Foray, you have the disco, you have the weirdos that wear these costumes, and to me, I think you had a great performance in this movie as well. I mean, the whole cast was amazing. I mean, you would think that it'd be, you know how some comedy horrors, they get little stupid sometimes, but with But with Richard Griffin, he has a knack of knowing how far to go, to where it doesn't get wing-dingy, if you know what I mean. But again,
I absolutely.
But go ahead. Now, your experience with that one now, I mean, that's pretty early in your career as well. What was that like to be in Spider Disco? I mean, to be with Ken Foray, of all people.
That was so crazy, because I consider that to be like my first real film. I mean, that I had done, like student films before that, and I had done, like maybe 2 short independent films.
Right.
But then I got cast in Spider Disco, and I show up on the set, and it's like, oh my God, this is a real movie.
That's funny.
And I mean, you have, 4 great actors in that. I mean, Ken Foray, obviously,
yep.
And we had Debbie Rochon and Haga and Lynn Lowry.
Oh.
And I mean, these people they're icons,
yep.
Everybody knows who they are. And it was such an amazing experience to not only be able to meet these people and work with these people, but also to be able to study them and see what they do. And then look at myself and be like, okay, well, they did that really well. How do I do that? How do I get better and get to where they are?
Yep. And the one of the cast members in that movie, who I became good friends with, is William DeCuff as Mayor Rusty. But
Mm-hmm.
That's a good film. Shar, do you want to say anything?
I'm sorry, I was reading Ken Foray's page. I knew that name sounded familiar.
Ken Foray was but the American Chop Suey in 2009.
Yes.
No.
That I only did a voiceover in that one.
Right.
That one is part of a trilogy.
Okay.
They're 3 short films, all done by Nathan Quattrini. And the first 2 are kind of more heavy martial arts. One of them was like a period medieval piece that I had a supporting role in, and then the other one is much more high action film.
Okay.
And then American Chop Suey was kind of his comedy. And David LaValle, again, who did the fight choreography for Nun of That, was the star in that one.
All right.
And it's really hilarious. Like, if you ever get a chance to see it,
I do want to see
they
it.
make fun of. I mean, it's great. They do this whole thing where you have David going through like all these trials and tribulations of typical martial arts films.
Okay.
And he's doing some simple stuff like cleaning the house.
Yeah.
And so you have like this great martial arts master using all of his skills to do normal mundane tasks. And it's really, really hilarious.
Well, actually, I was trying to find that online, like video or something, and I can't find that nowhere.
I don't think it's available to like watch online. I know, at least for a little while, Nathan was selling them off of his website,
Okay.
which I think is naqproductions.com.
Okay.
I think he's selling the 3 of them all together as a trilogy.
All right.
I think that's the best bet.
I would check them out.
So,
Now, this next film that I seen, Beg, in 2010. Now, this movie it hasn't started yet, has it, or is it done? I'm confused. I've seen it on Indiegogo. The Beg.
Beg. Beg has kind of a long history.
Yeah.
It started shooting a while ago. It originally started off as a short film, and then the director and producer, who are Kevin and Shannon McDonald, they kept being able to get more and more like big actors involved. And so they have, Tony Moran and Michael Berryman and Tony Todd and Debbie Rochon and Tiffany Shepis and all of these But people, they kept being able to get more and more people, so they kept writing in more and more scenes.
Okay.
I mean, if you have an actor willing to do your film,
why not?
Put them in.
Yeah.
So it grew from being a short film to being a feature. And I think as a feature it was completed, and if I'm not mistaken, it screened in New York. But I think now what they're trying to do is to turn that feature into kind of more of a web series.
Oh, okay.
So the Indiegogo thing is kind of to help raise the funds to continue doing more segments of this feature.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go ahead and ask you another Richard Griffin film that I'm dying to see. And I think, Shar, did you not see this movie? Or somehow, the Disco Exorcist?
No, I didn't see it, but a mutual friend of ours, Ken over at KillingBox.com, he said he was one of the extras. Yeah, Ken King, he said he was an extra. He had big afro hair and a big pink shirt, so I can't wait to see it. Shirt with big hair.
Now, from what I understand now, Richard told me that this was pretty successful in its debut a couple months ago. Is that right?
Yeah, it did. It sold out for the premiere.
Wow.
It was great. So I mean, it had the premiere, and then there have been a couple screenings after that, and it hasn't sold out since then, but it's been really well attended, and everyone really seems to love it. They come out, saying this is the best Richard Griffin film yet. So,
that's what I heard. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's what people are saying. They're really enjoying it. So it's got a lot of comedy, a lot of gore, and a lot of sex.
Now, I gotta be funny here, man. Who's a dope that played Rex Romansky?
Yes, the guy that plays Rex Romansky, that is Michael Reed.
No.
And he is my real life husband.
Sorry, Mike, I had to bust your balls one more time again. I can't help myself. He's a good guy. Anyways, now, you have a bunch of stuff here. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, you have another Richard Griffin, if I'm not mistaken, the Atomic Brain Invasion. That's Richard Griffin too, right?
Yes, it is. That's actually my personal favorite
Richard
Griffin film. It's a 1950s period piece, and it's kind of like, it's one of the old creature movies, from the 50s, where there are aliens that have come to Earth and they're trying to kidnap Elvis, and then there are good aliens that also came to Earth that wanted to see Elvis play.
Oh, God.
And it's just a really fun, sweet film. And amazingly, for Richard Griffin, it's actually PG-13.
No kidding.
Believe it or not.
No.
So, I mean, there's
that's funny.
No swearing, no nudity, there's really not much gore. But I mean, I'm just telling you all the bad stuff. I mean, it's really a great film. I really enjoy it. I really like it.
Right.
So I think it's my favorite Richard Griffin film. That or None of That. I think they're kind of tied.
Well, yeah. Well, actually, that's one of the other films that he's going to send me as well, the Atomic Brain Invasion. So I'm kind of anxious to get them and watch them. Star, is there anything else you want to mention on here?
Oh, she was talking about not being any language and boobs and stuff in the other movies. There's definitely language and boobs. And Jesus Christ and None of That.
Oh.
It's got boobs, it's got sex. That's Bob's, and Jesus Christ is in it.
Yeah, I never saw that one.
Exactly. You can't get any better than that. You get Jesus Christ doing a song and dance number.
That was funny. That's one of my favorite parts.
No.
I think that's most people's favorite part. Just because it comes so completely out of left field and you're not expecting it at all, and it's just awesome.
Well, I like where he says, I think he's talking to you, said, I'm married to all the nuns, so that makes me a woman.
Oh,
yes.
Oh, God. I gotta see that now.
You gotta see it. It's a really good movie. I love the whole vibe of it, the music, and oh man, you gotta see the nun working that pole with the machine gun.
Mm-hmm.
Well, speaking of nuns, there is one come out this summer. New Nuns of Big Guns. I saw that. Now that's a good one too. You mentioned about nuns and guns. Now
I've heard of that.
Yeah,
they're ripping us off, man.
Oh, it's quite interesting. It has Bill Birch Jr. and all of them. Yeah, that has like that priest thing. I mean, it's a Guzman film. I mean, you can expect a lot from a Guzman film, but anyways.
Yeah.
Now you're also in a zombie movie too, Zombie Allegiance.
Yes, Zombie Allegiance. That was done by Tony Nunes. That was his first feature film. And actually, I mean, Tony's helped out on a lot of Richard Griffin films. He's been a script supervisor, and actually he's written a lot of content for the films as well. So Zombie Allegiance is kind of like it's a post-apocalyptic zombie movie. But the thing that really sets it apart from all other post-apocalyptic zombie movies is that it has a lot of political overtones to it, which I thought made it really, really interesting. And it talks a lot. One of the characters' name is George, and he thinks that he's the president. And there's a lot of parallels between the way that this clan of survivors relates to each other and how they treat the zombies and everything. And it parallels a lot with like what American government does and how they treat people as well. So
right.
It's more than just a gory horror movie.
Well,
so it's got a good message in there.
The funny part about it is, as everyone knows, I'm a big zombie film and I'm a big slasher film. I mean, I always say bring back the slash, and this movie has both. It's called a zombie slasher flick. Now, this is not available yet, is it? Is it available to get yet or no, or is it pretty much in hibernation right now?
It's not out. It's not available for purchase just yet, but it did get picked up for distribution by Pop Cinema.
Nice.
So it will be out at some point whenever that occurs.
Yeah, and we all know how Shar loves zombie movies, right?
I've only actually liked one zombie movie, and that's Dead Genesis.
I had to put her on the spot, and it's fun, I have to.
But hey, if it comes out, I'll look for it.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. Sure.
I will review it.
All right, Shar, you want to ask her this one movie, don't you? The last one before we get to the one that she's going to start filming on Sunday, right? You mentioned to me yesterday. It's a Kevin McDonald film again. You remember?
I did see the Witching Hour.
Yes, that's one you went.
And when I first saw it, I thought, oh, Anne Rice. But it's not Anne Rice, is it, Sarah?
Which one is this?
The Witching Hour?
Oh, The Witching Hour. Oh, yes. No, it's not Anne Rice, although I do totally know where I'm an Anne Rice fan, so I definitely understand where you'd get that idea from.
Not me.
The Witching Hour is it's done by the same people who are doing Beg, and I think that one is kind of in a basis hiatus kind of at the moment. We did, probably about a year ago, we did a bit of shooting, and they brought in Michael Madsen and William Forsythe, and they filmed all of their stuff. And then they did a couple days of shooting after that with some of the other vignettes. It's like the concept of the pieces. There's a guy who has a radio show, and people are calling in to this Witching Hour midnight radio show and telling horror stories. And then you have all the different horror stories that you can see that the people are calling in about. So it's a good thing to be able to kind of. It's a pretty cool concept. So it's also really manageable from a filming perspective, because you kind of have 5 short films all contained within this one big film. So it's a little easier to kind of bite off the chunks of that.
Now,
I think they've
we did it again. All right, go ahead.
I think they've kind of they did most of the filming with the horror show host, which was William Forsythe, so his stuff is done. And then I think they completed like 1 or 2 of the vignettes. And then I think at this point they're trying to raise the rest of the money to finish it off. So
where is it going to be set in? location of it? Do you know? Like,
The location is, a lot of it was shot in Massachusetts. So the actual like radio station was in a house in Massachusetts. I don't know really where the other stuff was, just because I wasn't on set for those days. But I'm assuming that it would also be similarly around that area, especially since that's where Jenna and Kevin are located.
So I'm assuming that you never got a chance to meet William Forsythe or Madsen, right?
I did meet William Forsythe. Yeah, I was in a scene with him. So I didn't meet Michael Madsen though. So
William Forsythe. William is my boy. I met William last year, and what a bird! Oh my God! My father-in-law got him so wound up. Those two were going at each other, carrying us. I'm leaving. But
really?
William and him are just. I mean, they're both Williams. And my father-in-law walks up to his table and he says, "How come you killed them girls?" And William gets him this weird look. What do you mean? He goes. He pointed at the picture of the Devil's Reject. He goes, "Oh, those bitches deserved it." Jeez. And those two were going.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I said, "Okay, guys, you go ahead." I said, "William, I'll be back. I'm going to talk to the other William, Bill Mosley." So I left and came back, and they're still going at it back and forth. I mean, that William is a nice, down to earth guy, I think.
Yeah. I mean, he was really awesome. He actually, Mike Michaels was the guy that did the makeup on that, and so I had a meeting with him just, to get ideas for what we were going to do for the film. And him and William were going out to dinner, and so Michael and I actually got to tag along.
Oh, yeah?
So we had like a private dinner with William Forsythe and Mike Michaels, which was really, really awesome.
That's cool. Yeah. I tell you who else is cool too is a guy that was with him in Devil's Reject, and that was that wrestler. Diamond Dallas Page.
yeah.
I never realized how big he was, how tall he is.
Yeah?
He's a monster.
Well, he's a wrestler. He's got to be big.
Well, all right. Now, the reason why... Sorry, you do that to me all the time. I hear you giggling.
I hear you giggling. He's a big guy.
Well, let's get to the meat of the interview. You contacted me and you wanted to promote a film that, just by looking at the DVD cover, has my major interest. And that's the weirdest thing about me. A lot of times you can't base a movie by its cover, because sometimes the cover is probably better than the movie. Not to be sarcastic or ignorant. But Exhumed. Now, if you want, you can tell the listeners about the movie and possibly who's in the cast, if you don't mind.
Sure. Exhumed is it's going to be more of a thriller than really like a slasher flick.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of more in the vein of Psycho. It's kind of more going for.
Nice.
Basic storyline is that it's like the last 6 days of this cult that has basically fallen apart. So their leader has died. I'm the leader's daughter, and everyone was kind of looking to me to continue, but I'm kind of not mentally well, so I'm not really able to do that. And so everything's kind of just disintegrated, and we're all just living in this house together. I'm trying to bring in outside people to rent rooms so that we can get some sort of money. And needless to say, some things go wrong. The governess, who is played by Debbie Rochon, has a bit of a temper, and she go off on some people at times. And yeah, there's definitely a whole lot of twists in here, and it's just, I mean, it's a really awesome story, and the cast is really incredible. I mean, obviously Debbie Rochon goes without saying.
Yep.
And then we have Michael Reed playing my love interest.
Oh, him.
We have Michael. That guy.
Sorry.
We have Michael Thurber playing the creepy butler, and then we have Rich Tressaway, who has also been in a lot of Richard Griffin films. He was Mama Rizzo in Nun of That. And we have Evelina Marie, who is another wonderful local actor. And we have Jonathan Thompson and Jocelyn Padilla.
Nice. So now,
I think that's pretty much it, which is amazing. It's a small cast for a Richard Griffin film.
Yeah, really. But now you say you're going to start on Sunday, correct?
Yes, we start filming on Sunday.
Interesting. Now, that's up in Massachusetts again, of course.
This one is going to be shot down in Rhode Island.
Oh, wow. Well, you can't have too big of a cast for Rhode Island now. It'll take up the whole state, right?
I know. We'll just take it over. It's so small.
Hey, Shar, do you have any questions? Do you want to ask her about anything about the new movie?
I'm just really enjoying listening to her.
Oh, thanks.
So, anyways, yeah. Well, like I said, I'm kind of anxious. Now, you guys will be posting stuff on the Facebook page, as far as your, the levels of completing it, I imagine. Imagine you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
I try to be fairly good about, putting updates and everything about how that's going along. And Exhumed has its own Facebook page, which is just facebook.com/ExhumedMovie.
Right.
And so there will be updates and stuff on that page as well.
If you get tired and you don't want to do it, you can always send it to the posting whore, Shar. She likes posting stuff.
Oh, hey, I just might take you up on that. It gets exhausting.
That's a joke that we have. Shar always calls herself a posting whore. So I figure, hey, there's Shar. Shar can post that stuff for you. There you go. You're
yeah, hey, make good use of it.
Your own assistant. All right. Well, Sarah, I hope it wasn't painless for you. This is a little new for me, having a co-host. I mean, it's going to take a little chemistry, as far as getting it right. But I think it was pretty decent. I try... Yeah. But I'll be editing this thing up, getting it up, I don't know what time, probably within 2 hours. I'm pretty quick at editing, so.
Oh, awesome.
But I do appreciate you coming on, and again, thanks
so much for having me.
Yeah, thanks for thinking of me and contacting me. I'm really into thrillers, too, so I'll keep a close eye on this one, and I wish you all the best and good luck, and even, I guess, Michael, too. Okay, Mike. He's probably going to say, man, that Gruesom's an asshole. He's probably calling me names now. But,
I doubt it.
You doubt it?
Yeah, I doubt it. Jesus wouldn't be so mean.
Michael? You don't know Michael very well, do you, Shar?
Yeah, Michael played Jesus.
Yeah?
Yes, he did.
He played Jesus? I got to see this movie now. Come on.
To see this movie.
Oh, thanks so much for having me. It was a pleasure.
I bet. You're probably going to hang up and go, oh, my God.
No, not at all.
All right. Well, thanks again, and good luck and congratulations on that new movie.
Thank you so much.
All right. Take care. Thank you.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
This is Adam Raymeyer, director of The Bunny Game, and you're listening to Gruesome Herzog.
Hey, this is Sean Kane, director of Silent Night, Zombie Night, and you're listening to Gruesome Herzog.
Hey, this is Bill Oberst Jr. I played Dale in the film Dismal, and as Dale would say, let me tell you something, you're listening to Gruesome Herzog. You got Dale's word on that.
Jack Harrison, action actor and stunt coordinator on 3 stunt teams. I played the character Idiot in the movie Dismal, and you're listening to Gruesome Herzog.